It's all good to get up out of nowhere.
Yeah, like, the loudest you could be, just so I know the maximum.
And there's a goal! Sorry. I never know, because I'm just like, oh.
We are near Christie Park, joined by Emily Arnold. We've got the match of the round here for the NPL New South Wales Cricket Competition. It's Northwest Sydney Spirit hosting Sydney University, and an exciting game. Try and win all.
Let's try and unplug and then plug again. Do my side. Okay, let's try again.
Hello.
As you were here, and then notifications.
And then we'll plug into the extension.
When you like that.
Alright, that's weird.
Can I hear you speak?
Hello. Hello.
I can do that.
Like
Is there
nothing
on
at
and
all.
off? On and off?
It's directional, but I've got it handy, so it should be fine.
Let me see if anything's coming up on the meter.
Day for football. Spirit versus Sydney.
Yep, keep talking a little bit.
How are we doing today?
Very
Sun's
low.
just come out.
It is low.
It is low.
can hear
So I
you.
just have to like scream.
What? Alright, let's say the two of you speak at the same time.
Alright, Emily, it's going to be a really exciting day. What are you making the two lineups?
Yeah, it's going to be a very good game here today. Uni coming in on a high. And
Back to Annabelle.
We've got two teams, very different form. We've got Spirit, who haven't won a game yet
Can
this
hear
year.
you. If you bring it towards your
A bit
mouth,
closer.
that's good. Yeah.
That's good there?
Yeah,
Alright,
Yeah, I
I'll
can hear
keep
you
it
well.
there. Cool.
Yeah, good
Sorted.
stuff. Right, and then back to the two of you, just to
Okay.
level that total.
We've got Spirit, who haven't won a game all year. We've got Uni, who are, I guess predictions going along really well. What are you making the two teams, Emily?
yeah, Uni have definitely made a comeback after having a little bit of a rocky start here. But as for Spirit, they've got a lot of questions left of this side.
Absolutely. Yet to manage even a point this year. Lost all 8 of their games.
Yeah, it's close to your mouth, but I can hear you now.
Okay.
So it just needs to be like,
Alright.
yeah, hugging your lips.
Get my lineups up. So who's in, who's out?
Why was I just like, oh my gosh, Spirit has a massive bench, and then I'm just like, wait, they've just got a full squad.
Thompson's not playing.
That's a shocker.
Welcome back to the NPL New South Wales Women's Competition, live here from Christie Park, your match of the round for round 9. It's Northwest Sydney Spirit hosting Sydney University. I'm Annabelle Banfield. I'm joined by Emily Arnold for a lovely sunny afternoon of football. Emily, what do you make of this matchup?
Yeah, we should have an interesting matchup here. We've got Uni coming in off some good results. Spirit, on the other hand, still looking for their first point of the season.
Exactly. Two teams who are very differently placed. Sydney Uni currently in 5th and they are flying 4 wins in a row. Meanwhile, Spirit, as you said, yet to have a point, 8 losses to start their season. So no doubt a disappointing start here at Christie Park. It was not where they expected to be, and they'll be looking to turn things around today. I'll get you started with the lineups for the home side. They start with number 1, Jasmine Selva in goals, 11, Michaela Gavranic, 13, Annalise Brewster, 14, Jordan Drysdale, 16, Grace Attard, 19, Frankie Morrow, 24, Charlotte Finity, 27, Andrea Platges, 28, Alicia Leggett, 29, Alexis Malia, and 34, Savannah Layla. And the substitutes for Spirit, 12, Annie Foote, 22, Darrell Avery, 23, Rani Dealey, 25, Lola Greenberg, 33, Maria Romeliotis, 35, Ruby Govind Ali, and 52, Summer Packy. And Sydney University, they line up with a couple of changes. Starting number 4, Talia Sambrook, 5, Amelia Kirby, 6, Juliet Harris, 8, Madison Van Dyke, 9, Poppy Tay, 18, Kiara Bonora, 19, Noor Hijazi, 24, Xanthi Urich, 28, Isabella Rod, 31, Scarlett Gray, and 39, Asha Sutton. And on the bench for the university, 17, Emily Brewster, 20, Ellen Hughes, 21, Taylor Wilmot, 23, Letitia Zeck, 25, Elizabeth Bieri, 30, Grace Cho Triganza, and 33, Claudia Pickett. So changes on both sides. New goalkeeper for Sydney University. So a little bit some differences to watch out for. Of course, Alice Thompson, she scored a double last week and earned herself a spot in the team of the week. She is not playing today for Sydney University, so what can they come up with a couple of changes in their lineup? They get us kicked off here. Poppy Tay starts things off. Striker of the month across the league after a phenomenal April. They give it up quickly. Emily, I mean, Tay comes to mind, but who are your strike players to watch across the field?
Yeah, I think, as you said, it's pretty hard to look past Poppy Tay. She's been having quite the season. I think otherwise, for Spirit, it doesn't look too good for them going forward in the attack. I think they obviously do have their players that we will be looking out for. I will keep an eye on Frankie Morrow. I think she is a good attack for Spirit, but otherwise I think Uni going forward is going to be very, very much more the team we're going to be looking at.
Absolutely. On paper it does seem like it could be one-way traffic. Northwest Sydney scored just 3 goals all season across 8 rounds. They've conceded 38. So the stats are not on their side. It would be a monumental upset if they were to get a result today, but you can't put anything past them, especially on their home ground. Would this be the game to get their season going? And I mean, Sydney University, they're going really well, but they've had a couple of slip-ups this year. They lost early to the Western City Rangers, who are down in second last position at 13th right now, so they're the kind of team that can certainly drop points in unsuspecting ways. It's Spirit on the ball now. Gavranic. She plays wide to Brewster. They're forced back. Spirit also missing Harper Pell, a local junior. She's burst through to be a very reliable and one of their strongest players to start the season, and that form has earned her a spot in the under-17 national team that's off to China for the Asian Cup. Should be playing tonight. Here comes Sydney Uni. It's Sutton, 17 years old, plays it wide. That out of bounds there from Sutton. One there by Uni, Poppy Tay. She's tackled by Drysdale. Rod ends up going across the face of goal and really not very close to the goal on that occasion. But the first chance, I guess you can say, for Sydney Uni.
Yes, as we've been pointing out, likely the first chance of many there for Uni, but nothing too troubling for Silver there and the back line in Spirit.
Struggling to play out his Spirit. Leggett goes wide to Brewster, playing in a left back role today, usually more of a midfielder. Benora, switch is headed towards Sutton. It's intercepted by Layla. Going forward, the pace of Attard can't quite catch up to the ball. Flick over the top from Rod, unsuccessful in getting it to Tay. Early switch here for Spirit. Gavranich has some room to move. Kirby is there in defence, but Gavranich can find the pass. In the corner now, Spirit. And eventually it is awarded a goal kick. Spirit are confused. Spirit are setting up in the corner. It's played quickly. And Uni potentially could take advantage of some Spirit players well out of position. All the way back now to Selva. Spirit in a little bit of trouble. They've found a way out on the right with Layla. Savannah Layla carrying it across the halfway line. Finds the pass to Attard. Trying to cut inside. Dispossessed in the midfield there by Van Dyke. Morrow with the first shot on target of the day. Testing out the new goalkeeper, Scarlett Gray. But we'll need a little bit more pace, I'd imagine, to trouble Gray in goals.
Yeah, I think as we can see, Spirit can get forward. We have seen that in their occasional game, but just nothing in that final third, nothing to really come off and trouble the keepers.
They've got pace if they can get it to their wingers. Gavranich is quick. Grace Attard can certainly trouble with her speed as well. But I think they probably just haven't had enough experience in the final third this season. They're not up there much, and so it does look a little bit disconnected when they get there. They rely on individual moments of brilliance rather than any sort of team movement.
Yeah, I think it's been a hard season for Spirit. They've definitely have had their moments of individual excellence. They have had some good goals.
Jarzy to Tay. Tay gets inside Brewster. Poppy Tay attempts to square it. She had runners. Well defended by Drysdale. And we've got our first corner of the game.
I think that's just the threat of Poppy Tay there. As we mentioned before the game, she's been having quite the season, and she's always a player that you're going to have to look out for on those counterattacks.
I think she's a slippery player. You think you've got her under control. You've got the numbers there to defend her. You're lining up a tackle, and then she just seems to scoot past every time. Often doesn't look too flashy either. As the corner comes in, it goes well out the back. And it's in! Kiara Benora gets the tap in. Fantastic goal to get things going for Sydney University. The header from Talia Sandbrook, and then Kiara Benora taps it into the goal. So an early strike for Sydney University.
Yeah, just within the opening 8 minutes there for Uni, as we've predicted, a great start for Uni, but yeah, lacking there from Spirit, just very, very open on the players there.
Yeah, they were just second, and they left Sandbrook out wide beyond that far post, who is an aerial threat. Gavranich is down. No foul was given, but slow to get up is Michaela Gavranich. Will be a Spirit throw in. Finity surrounded, gets a pass away, but it goes straight to Sydney Uni feet. Tay and Rod combine. It's Hijazi who makes the run over the top and keeps it in almost. Just went out, according to the linesman. Brewster towards Morrow. Takes a bounce and ends up with Sandbrook. Looking to find Sutton. Clutches, wanted a foul. Tackle was deemed fair. Spirit have it back now. Layla playing the ball over the top. It's well defended by Urich. Michaela Gavranich is down. She looks to be in need of some medical attention. Sydney Uni are playing on though. Kirby inside to Rod. Ball forward for Hijazi is well out in front and will go out for a goal kick, and time is stopped here so that Gavranich can get some medical attention. Looks to be something in her lower back or hip perhaps, but she would she's an important member of this Spirit side, one of the few who got regular first grade minutes last season, perhaps the only one now that Pell isn't available, so no doubt that would be a big loss for Spirit if Gavranich was unable to play on.
Yeah, definitely not a great sign for Spirit there. She is one of these players that is able to hold this side together and communicate well between this team. I think we've seen that she's very integral in going forward from that back line, so definitely someone they don't want to miss.
She can get back and do a defensive job too as a winger, which is important in a side that ultimately does a lot of defending. Tay dropping in to receive the ball. Down that left-hand sideline, Poppy Tay still going. She rounds Leggett. Poppy Tay across the face of goal. She almost ran it from halfway and scored herself there.
The technique of Poppy Tay there, I think she's someone we're going to be talking about all afternoon, someone that even when you have the numbers on her, she can easily get around defenders.
And like I said, she can be a bit surprising. She doesn't always look that fast, but she still seems to get to everything first. I think she is certainly having a massive impact for Sydney this season. Van Dyke, out-muscled, but she was fouled. That's a good chance here for Sydney University. Asher Sutton, the 17-year-old promoted up to the seniors this season, standing behind the ball.
Spirit are still down to 10 players here while Gavranich is still off, so I think going off their first corner, they're going to have to really mark here to try keep this out.
Sutton off the crossbar, and it's in off the head of Rod. Selva made the initial save, tipped it onto the crossbar, and I think she'd be disappointed with her defenders there. None of them reacted. Rod had the clear run towards goal and was able to score probably one of the easiest goals of her life, to be honest, Isabella Rod. A very simple finish. And Sydney University double their lead up 2-0 over the Northwest Sydney Spirit. The substitution is coming. Michaela Gavranich is finished for the day. Very early substitution. It's Grace Attard shifted onto the left. And I will double check in a moment, but I believe that is Darrell Avery on the right. Kirby being pressured by Attard. Kirby able to retain the ball, but passes straight to Spirit. Wide to Layla. She cuts inside. Morrow. Now to the substitute, Avery. Spirit are being forced back here. The pressure is coming, and Poppy Tay, she really can do it all in defence as well, contributing to this Sydney team. Urich plays it back. Gray goes long, takes a bounce and ends up with Annalise Brewster. Just waiting for the right moment to enact their press. There it is, Tay intercepts the pass from Drysdale and then scoots past the Spirit captain. Eventually is tackled by Leggett. Playing nervously at the back, Spirit. Ball ends up with Brewster on this left-hand side. Side to Malia. Leggett drives forward towards Attard. The pass is played. It's intercepted by Kirby. Once again, Kirby with that interception. Attard for Platjes. I think that ball was aimed towards Morrow, although played on a really tough angle. She was never going to have the speed to get up with that. And I think Spirit are a team who can play out okay. They've had some practice doing that this season, playing out from the back. They haven't scored a goal in over a month. The whole month of April, this club has scored 0 goals. So a bit out of practice when they get down into that final third. I think it's showing, Emily.
Yeah, I think as we also mentioned earlier is since they haven't been in that attacking third in quite a while, it is hard for them to connect, as we did see with that ball. Just not the same connection and fluidity that we're seeing with Uni. Uni seem to know each other very well, know where each other are going to be. Something that Spirit haven't been able to do. Granted, they haven't been able to get many chances to build that up yet.
Exactly. It comes with experience, then that confidence can grow, and Uni are a team on fire. 4 wins in a row. New coach Xavier Taylor has them playing fantastically, whereas Spirit, as I said, 8 straight losses to start the season. Haven't scored a goal in over a month. Their coach resigned. John Sarukas is no longer at the club, so it makes sense that they're a little bit down at the moment. The good news for Spirit is that the transfer window is open, and no doubt they will be looking to bring in some experience, some people that can guide this group of young and talented players, but as a team, they're clearly not ready to compete at this level, and they need a little bit of experience to help guide them and kind of get them glued together. Here's Sutton driving forward. Asher Sutton tries to cut inside herself and is unable to do so. The pressure of Malia and Leggett there to make the tackle.
Yeah, I think as you said, this is a young team for Spirit. They do need to bring in those experienced players, and I think with this window opening, hopefully we will see some hopeful A-League talent coming in and guiding this team, because they have got the talent there, and I think they just need that experience and that confidence to get them there.
Absolutely, and they've done it for the last few years. This club has brought back A-League talent, often their own talent, who they've been able to develop since they were young, get them a chance to the A-League, and then they come back to continue that development in A-League off-season. So the likes of Ruby Sullivan, as Noor Hijazi winds up from a long way out and wasn't quite far enough out because it ends up going well over the goal. But Ruby Sullivan, I would imagine she'll be back. Sky Halmerick just played her first A-League season and did very well. Her and Sullivan ended up getting lots of opportunities with the under-20 national team. So if those two come back, it would be a great inclusion for the side. And then last year they had the likes of Tiana Robertson, Madison McComiskey, Beth Gordon, Sophie Harding came back as well, although she signed a full-time deal in Florida, so I can't imagine she'll be returning to Christie Park. My point being that there's a lot of names that have come back to Christie Park in recent years. They'll need them in 2026 more than ever, and I'm sure there's a strong recruitment effort going on in the background at the moment.
Yeah, I think as names you've mentioned, there are quite a few players that Spirit has built up. I think they are good at building up these juniors, many of who we're seeing on the pitch now. Hopefully, with the right guidance, we will see them progress like the names you just mentioned.
Tay picks up a loose pass. Tay from distance hits the crossbar. Cleared by Drysdale. Clutches now, back to Leggett. Gets to Malia, it's bouncing around for Brewster. Tackled by Hijazi. Leggett, now for Brewster. Attard is able to turn, drive inside, and Kirby makes the tackle. Kirby cuts inside Finity as well. Gets the ball to Rod. Second pass doesn't quite come off, but Nora is covering her captain at right back. Rod has some time. Plays to Kirby. I think as well you can just see the change in intensity. Uni just look to be more relaxed on the ball. They have less pressure on them, or it takes longer for the pressure to arrive. Whereas Spirit are constantly under pressure.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, especially in this midfield, Uni seems to have a lot more time on the ball, a lot more structure. as we can just see here, Uni have the room to move and spread the ball through. Spirit are scrambling a little bit to get back in their positions.
Kirby tries to play that ball over the top for Tay, but striker wasn't making that run. Finity back for Malia. They've got a bit of time here. Uni just holding right now in their defence. And at that moment the pressure arrives. Drysdale with the poor pass. Rard and Selva well off her line and to the edge of her box to claim that loose ball trickling in.
Yeah, despite these Spirit score lines, I think Jasmine Selva has been good in goals for them. She has made some excellent saves this season and covering that back line. Just headed towards us there, that ball. Sounding on the scaffolding that you can hear.
Last week I was at North Turramurra commentating the Sydney Uni versus Northern Tigers game. Very exciting game. Particularly exciting was when the ball got fired up onto the hill about a metre from where I was standing. So we're at a lot safer location here at Christie Park.
Gotta love some of the grounds here in the NPL.
They've all got their own charm, don't they? Uni forced well back. Great. No messing around. First touch clearance from the goalkeeper. She just trusts her team to be able to win it back quickly as Sutton does well there. For Uni, they've, as I said, they're on a 4-game winning streak. Currently up 2-0. The one thing they haven't done all year is keep a clean sheet. And no doubt that would be a goal Xavier Taylor has set for his side today. They've had plenty of wins, but they've all come with a goal conceded. So City University would be keen to not have that happen today. As I said, it's a Spirit side. Haven't scored a goal in 4 games.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, it should definitely be an aim of Uni here to keep a clean sheet. On paper, they should easily do it, but unfortunately, soccer's not that straightforward, is it? So
you've got to actually play the game and earn the clean sheet for sure. Sandbrook with a strong tackle there.
So hopefully some positive signs from Spirit there, that they can get one back in this game at least.
I think for the University as well, they had a disappointing year last year, weren't really competitive in a lot of games, or at least on the ladder they were never really competing for finals. This year they're in 5th right now, 1 spot outside the top 4 and plenty of season left to play. The best teams, the kind of teams that make semi-finals, could definitely keep clean sheets against some of the lower placed teams. So for Sydney University, that confidence building and just proving to everyone else around the league that they truly have turned a corner, that they're a side to be watched out for, would certainly go a long way if they can run up a big score today. Benora spinning around looking for support, finds it with Harris.
Yeah, I think as you just mentioned, based off Uni's performance last season, I think a lot of people did write them off as maybe not a team to look at, but they have had quite the breakout players this season, especially with Poppy Tay and some of those others in the attack. They know how to score, and it is that question of their back line that we're left with.
Well, it's the promotion of Coach Xavier Taylor as well. He's led the 23s to back-to-back championships, so is obviously a pedigree coach, been promoted up to 1st grade this season, and they are flying under him, not just as a team but individually as well. You can see a lot of players out there playing with confidence. He's promoted youngsters from within the program, and they were a team that got absolutely depleted over the off-season. Plenty of their star names left the club, the likes of Amelia Feeney, Talia Capitanellis, Jamie Bowfields, Ruby and Brown all left the Inner Sydney club, and they've only come away stronger for it. So it's a credit to the coaching that they are receiving at the moment. Rod, the burst of pace, but Malia has enough strength. About halfway through this first half, the visitors up 2-0. Poppy Tay here has a chance. Cutting onto her left foot, and Poppy Tay makes it 3. Cool, calm, and collected from the striker of the month across the NPL this season. Poppy Tay adds another to her growing tally of goals in 2026.
Yeah, I think that one's just inevitable there. Spirit had kept them out for just over 10 minutes, but I think when you have this attack of Uni, it is hard to keep this up, especially against a defence that has conceded a lot of goals.
And they can go on the counter too. Get a ball to take, get her one-on-one, and she can make good things happen. Her strength and her speed, and then finishing ability. It's the full package for a striker. They don't need the slow build-up. Uni can go direct when the moment is on. That's Poppy Tay's 6th goal of the season. So, 9th game, 6 goals. It's a pretty good strike rate for Poppy Tay. Had a couple of assists last week as well. Brewster, ball goes to Attard, heavy touch allows Benora into the action. And the foul there from Brewster on Hijazi. Sandbrook. Probably didn't strike that quite as sweetly as she wanted, but it's still bouncing around in the Spirit backline. Silva eventually in safe hands. The head of Brewster. Maddie Van Dyke shows her strength. Able to spin around a couple. Gets the pass away as well. Advantage is being played for the foul. Hijazi with a strike and patted away by Selva. Another corner coming, and we saw what Sinini were able to do on their only other corner this game. That was what led to the first goal. Can Spirit defend this one a little bit better? Remains to be seen, but really, Selva had plenty of time there. Probably should have been able to stay on her feet and secure the ball. Nonetheless, her team now in a dangerous position as they're forced to defend another corner. It's Asher Sutton from this right-hand side. Samples arriving at the back post. It's headed down by Drysdale. Clearance attempted by Brewster. Doesn't get very far. Van Dyke able to scoop the ball up on the edge of the box. Sandbrook pulls out to receive. Harris now for Hijazi. Back onto her left foot, Hijazi. It was curling, just not quite quickly enough to curl back and into the top corner, but didn't look good off the boot initially, but then the curl started coming in. I thought it might have a chance. Not quite enough to trouble Spirit's goal.
Yeah, definitely up here in the scaffolding, we're getting a little bit of wind in our commentary position, so I'm sure there is that swell down on the pitch that likely just helped that one.
I think it also shows that they're up 3-0 now, Sydney University. They're feeling confident, they're feeling calm, and a lot of players want to get themselves on the score sheet. They've already shared it around. The goals so far, Benora is a Bella Rad, and then Poppy Tay. Noor Hijazi's had a few efforts now. She clearly wants to see her name up on that score sheet too. Sandbrook, strong challenge.
Yeah, I think Fajazi definitely has earned a goal this game. She's definitely taken quite a few shots and has been looking good.
Promoted this week into the first grade lineup, covering Alice Thompson, who will not play today.
I think Alice Thompson is an unfortunate out there for uni. Obviously last week she had an amazing game, scoring 2 goals as we mentioned earlier, but I think that is the thing with this uni front line, is they have so many great attacking players that even when one of your superstars is out, there are many others on the pitch that can step up.
And of all the games to miss, you know, this is probably one that they don't mind not having Thompson. They're already up 3-0, so they've got the talent across the club to cover her for this game. Ball played forward. It's the captain, Amelia Kirby, charging forward from her right back position. A good cross is played in. Drops on that penalty spot. Now for Rod. Up and into the hands of Selva.
I think that's every time we see uni going forward, we're seeing many players in the box. I think, as you said, everyone wants a piece of the action here and wants their name on the score sheet. So I'm sure we will be seeing many more goals.
And like we've said a couple times for Spirit, as Tay almost gets on the end of that ball, if the touch had to come off for Tay, you'd say it's a 99% chance of a goal from that sort of range. Luckily for Spirit, just out of her reach. But as we've been saying about this Spirit side, you only gain confidence and experience in front of goal and that sort of precision by doing it repeatedly. And this is a game where Sydney University can build up their reps in front of goal and use it as they face more challenging opponents throughout the season. They've got a tough game next week against Bulls FC Academy, last year's champions. So they can use this week as some practice in the final third for when they'll need to be a little bit more clinical, no doubt, next week against a tougher opposition.
Yeah, I think most teams have been using Spirit as target practice. It does kind of seem at this point the only team to score less than 5 against Spirit is the Illawarra Stingrays.
And Apia, but it was 4-0, that result.
You are right there, sorry.
That's all good. They held the clean sheet and had a few debuts that game. So I think, unfortunately, Spirit are gaining a reputation for being a bit of a testing ground. Next week, it'll be the Western Sydney Wanderers who take on Spirit. Wanderers, another team who weren't that strong last year, but are flying in 26 as Tay gets to the ball. She drags it wide with her touch. Cutting back in. Poppy Tay can't get the cross to reach Sutton. The Wanderers, another team who have really turned their fortunes around in 2026, only their second year as an academy side in the NPL setup. Sajazi gets on the ball, cross comes in, almost makes it to Rudd. Annalise Brewster with some crucial defending to reach the ball there. But yeah, Western Sydney up into 3rd place. And I know that's a side you support in the A-League Women's competition, Em. I'm sure you're happy to see the academy flourishing.
Yeah, definitely happy with that one. I think one of the teams still remained unbeaten in this league. I think it's a great sign for that team. They've got a lot of young talent, and it's definitely someone that we're going to be keeping our eye on for finals this season, I think.
Absolutely, plenty of talent across the Western Sydney region. Sutton delivers the ball. Lands on that back post, punched away by Selva. Van Dyke quick to win it back for Uni. And win another corner, this time from the left side there. First corner on the left this game, 4th overall for Sydney University. And looks like Asher Sutton is the dedicated corner taker on both sides of the field. Relocating back to the left to take the set piece. Sutton delivers. Back post once again. Sambrook gets the header. She leapt above Savannah Layla, but falls just wide.
Yeah, I think
Brewster tries to round Hijazi, grabs the arm too.
we've been seeing the similar positioning on all those corners there for Uni, aiming at the back post. Obviously, their first one did come off, but they've clearly got a strategy there.
Absolutely, and it's a great consistency from the corner taker, Asher Sutton, to just put them all on a dime, really. Her team knows exactly where they're going to drop and can make those runs, and we saw it on the first one. It often leads to goals, or at least strong opportunities. Attard picks up the ball, dangerous area. She's passes out to Avery, looks to do the overlap, although Avery was standing on the sideline, so not much room to work with. Back to Layla. Cross comes in. Harris meets the ball, and then the true clearance comes from Van Dyke. Hijazi. The pass. It's not quite there for her. Urich makes interception. Gets through the challenge with Avery. Now University, if they can get it out onto this right-hand side, that's where they go to Kirby. There's plenty of room. It's a pleated Spirit defence. Looking a little disorganised back there. Benora. Leggett was deep and kept her on side. Still on the edge of the box, off the chest of Kirby. Now for Benora, who won't have the pace to keep that pass in.
Yeah, it does seem like this Spirit backline is getting a little bit tired. Obviously, as you mentioned, Uni does have pace, despite maybe it not looking like it sometimes. They've got some pretty fast players out there, and Spirit are having a trouble keeping up.
Just 5 minutes to go in this first half. Spirit have done plenty of defending, which is undoubtedly more tiring. Kirby attempts to get the cross in. That low ball just met some yellow legs in the box. You can just see they're not moving up as consistent lines. It's very much individual movements for Spirit at the moment. And it's difficult to be part of a team that, you know, loses regularly. That confidence goes, that trust in your teammates, unfortunately, it does waver. As much as you say you're together, it can be tricky finding yourselves in a slump of results.
Yeah, I think for Spirit, it is going to be trying to keep up the attitude in the dressing room and keep it positive, because it is hard when you're on a losing run, and it is easy to think, oh, well, it's just another game that we're going to lose. And I think as a coach and their coaching staff, they're really going to need to be working on that and keeping that confidence high that they can get something out of these games going forward.
Absolutely, because they need to find some points. Of course, relegation, you know, it's still relatively early in the season, but they've got a long way to go to get themselves to a safe zone. They currently have 0 points in the club championship. That's made up by a combination of first grade and under 23s results, extra points applied to first grade results, but they have had 0 wins in both their first grade and their under 23. 0 points as well, so no draws. The next two clubs ahead of them, Hills United, promoted for this season, are on 35, as are the Western City Rangers, who were promoted the year before. So 2 clubs relatively new to the NPL setup are towards the bottom. Still building, I'd imagine. Spirit, though, they've been at this level for a long time, been a successful club at this level for a long time, and it feels like this season, this poor form has kind of come out of the blue. Morrow launches a very ambitious effort that does not trouble whatsoever. But it's surprising for a club that has for so long been a very strong competitor in the NPL New South Wales women's competition.
Yeah, I think it definitely has been a shock. I think, as we've talked about these last few seasons, they have had some rocky starts and they've been able to pick it up in the back end of the season, but they are a successful club. They should know how to grind out results in this league.
For I'd say the best part of a decade, I've been involved in different ways with the NPL, and Spirit have never been in this precarious of a position. Brewster for Leggett. They're struggling here. There's calls of kick it out as Darrell Avery remains seated. I apologise, it's Alexis Malia, but she's sat down on that right wing, so tricked me there. But Alexis Malia looks like she'll be needing some medical attention. They've already been forced to make that early substitution. Michaela Gavranic finished her afternoon early, and on came Darrell Avery. It would be extremely disappointing for the Northwest Sydney Spirit if they had to make yet another medical change here.
Yeah, definitely. I think it seems for this team, when everything's bad, it just seems to keep getting worse. It's definitely not what we want to see. We want all of these players on the pitch putting out their best performance. So definitely not what we want to see for any players.
Especially a club that is struggling, with already, it's difficult to be dealing with even more adversity. Of course, injuries affect every football club every season, especially on the women's side, unfortunately, but Spirit already have quite a lot on their plate, and injuries are not something you want to be dealing with on top of the relegation concerns.
Yeah, definitely. As we've seen the past few matches, they've had short benches, unable to make full benches, so it's definitely not something we want to see for a club that's struggling. A little bit of an interesting one there. Uni's was a little upset there with the game having to stop for the player that was down, and the ball's been given back to Spirit there.
I think they thought they were in possession and deserved the drop ball. I mean, they're back in possession pretty quickly with Van Dyke. Now for Benora. Wide to Kirby, who's really getting involved in the attack today. Cuts it back, Hijazi. Just gets under the ball, slipped a little bit to reach the ball as she was trying to play it. If she had stayed on her feet, probably would have stayed a bit lower, but it was great build-up, and then the final shot didn't quite match the production.
Yeah, as we've mentioned, she's had a few shots throughout this game for Jazi, and you would assume that if she keeps at it, we're going to see hopefully a goal from her in this game.
You would imagine, although I'd say most of her shots have been off target, so she'll need to work on that in the second half, getting them in between the posts, underneath the crossbar, really challenging Jasmine Selva in goals, because there have been a couple like that most recent one where they went over the crossbar. Kirby, right back, has really been getting involved in the attack. She's had license to roam today and turned into a bit of a winger. Shifted Hijazi into the midfield. As the half-time whistle blows, it's Sydney University with a 3-0 lead over the Northwest Sydney Spirit in your round 9 NPL Women's Match of the Round. Stay tuned for all the second half action to come after a short break.
All good. My knees are feeling very numb. Yeah, no. It sucks not being able to see the board.
I know, it really does.
What the heck? Yeah. You guys are doing really well. And it's an entertaining game, so it's all going good.
Yeah. Yeah, as you say, it's a one-sided game.
Yeah.
We knew that heading in, right?
Yeah.
We knew we'd have to talk about the upcoming fixtures, just that the other ones that we stay.
That's what I feel like. I have hope every time I come. It's like you never know. Maybe they'll turn it around.
Quite a while. Yeah, like a lot of them are still developing it, and I hope they get there. But
Like there are some young players, but yeah, they're not ready yet.
and there's definitely more than 2 over there. Reaching is good.
Apparently, from what I've heard, it's a play on the
That's what I've heard. There was a lot of exits.
How are you?
The game.
It's been walking up and down, so we're getting the steps in.
Yeah, it's like I'm
It's that last step at the top. It's always testing.
Yeah.
It's like
I
my knees
hate
make
that.
that.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
So high. There's a child here when I came. I was like, how did this guy get up here?
What?
A little boy and his dad. I was like, did his dad just carry him or?
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's a spirit. I was like, oh, they're challenging. They're really good. They're like first to the ball. Their tempo is really high. I wonder why they put it up.
I thought you meant spirit.
Oh, no.
We were watching.
I'm sorry, no.
Yeah, I was talking spirit too.
No.
Yeah. It took me a second.
My brain
I'm
just kind of froze for a second.
Yeah, I'm just like, huh?
Oh my god. No.
Yeah.
No, watch the same game thing.
I was just like, okay.
Oh my god, no.
I'm excited for schedule because my mom has to start our career right now, and I'm going to meet them, and we've got the 5:30 kick for NWS Prada.
Oh my god, I'm going tomorrow.
So
And I'm
very
really excited for it.
I want to see it so
Do you live
badly.
close by?
No, but
Where do you live?
Croydon, like the area.
Alright.
It's not terrible, but like
Not great.
yeah, it's like half an hour-ish. But the movies and the shops are here, and I see that often. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm going tomorrow to Chatsworth to watch it, please. Because if you have Disney Plus, they have like Disney Plus perks, and you have like $14 tickets.
Oh,
Five people. Yeah.
I don't know.
get Disney Plus so bad.
Well, honestly,
but I can't justify
No, you know what? Let me know because we can share it. Because we need to save money. It's like $200, and I'm like, who in this economy has $200?
$200
That's why you get
subscription.
your parents to pay for it.
That's what I'm trying to get my parents to pay for it. I'm just like, come on. Now when I'm like still at home, I'm just like, so like, what are you doing? I'm still at this where I'm going, oh, the car needs petrol. That's what my mum's like, you gotta fill up the car today.
Oh my god. Wait, what are your Instagrams? I could not find you.
I'm Annabelle.
Soccer media.
Oh wait, you follow me. Yeah. Oh wait, we already follow each other.
Dan's taking photos of us.
Where?
When are they good photos?
That is funny.
Last week at Slender Park was talking about there was someone there that was like new and we're talking it was like, hi, and they're just like, oh, like, who are you all? And we're just like, you don't know Dan. It's like, everyone knows Dan.
All the players come up and chat to him after Dan Gibson. They're like,
Everyone's like, okay. That's what.
he makes good money, so it's fine. Not like to live on or anything, but yeah. He already gets paid more by his deals and then he can sell them on as well.
I'm going, I always wonder how that works. And it's like,
He told me last week, so he has to hold more of 20,000 because he first gets exclusive and then he puts more on his website and so a lot of people buy him at the end of the year. Like parents buy him for their kids family year for years and stuff.
yeah, it's like, I feel like people always love a good photo. Okay, do I can like, yeah, we can't do this.
I kept hearing it, I'm like, she's gonna be
That's what I was like, is someone like coming up the stairs? So why?
Apparently one of these mics is still on. My friend is watching at home, she can hear you talk.
Crazy. Let me hear you.
Hello?
Let me
It
hear
was-
you.
it wasn't-
Annabelle? Where's yours? Oh, there. Tap yours for me?
Yeah, that's.
Do you know? Let me just unplug it. It's easiest to pick it out. Yeah. Safety
Use
first.
the XLR extension cord. Yes.
Oh no.
Sorry, how entertaining.
That's embarrassing. That's.
I mean,
No.
embarrassing. Have you heard my actual commentary?
We're literally
Watch me
just
tomorrow.
girls.
Listen to me tomorrow. It's going to be a disgrace. The Evil Empire versus the NSW.
back here for the second half action from Christie Park, your NPL New South Wales Women's Round 9 match of the round. Northwest Sydney Spirit hosting Sydney University, who are currently up 3-0. Emily, what did you make of that first half?
I think it was a good first half from Uni there. I think they were connecting well. They were having their shots. As for Spirit, I don't think there was too many positives to take from that, where they're going to really have to work if they want to get a goal in this game.
We've mentioned Spirit's struggles at length, and they are lengthy, but hopefully they can put out a competitive second half performance and we can keep the action going in this game. It's the home side who get the second 45 kicked off. Goals from the first half all going Sydney University's way. Kiara Brenora got things started, then Isabella Rad and Poppy Tay, and that's who's on the ball now. Poppy Tay gets a cross in to the arms of Jasmine Selva. Just a reminder that Female Football Week is just around the corner, running from May 8th through to May 17th, so it's kind of 2 weeks. How good. A female football fortnight means every club can host a home game and put together some exciting celebrations. It's a nationwide initiative that celebrates the rapid growth of women's football and recognises the contribution of women to football across every level and every role. Across New South Wales, Football New South Wales, along with local associations and clubs, will be hosting a range of activities, including female football rounds, come and try sessions, free skills clinics, and these are all aimed at getting more girls and women involved in the game. So for more information and how to get involved, head to footballnewsouthwales.com.au. And I think it's fantastic that so many women are now wanting to get involved in football, whether that's playing, coaching, being an administrator. You know, there's the likes of Emily and I who are loving our role in media, so it's great that there's so many avenues for women to contribute to this wonderful game.
Yeah, I think Female Football Week is a great time to highlight all the women in the game, not just the players, but everyone behind the scenes as well, and everything that goes into making this great game run.
Here's Sydney University now, moving into that dangerous area. Van Dyke with a little ball over the top. Great touch by Kirby, but Selva is quickly off her line. Avery has some room, driving down this right-hand side into Morrow, trying to get that 1-2 to Avery, unable to do so, and is forced a long way back with her captain, Jordan Drysdale. Kirby, I think, has been strong today as a defensive right back, made a lot of interceptions, but then she's also getting involved in the attack, making a lot of forward runs, able to get crosses away at the end of those, so leading through her actions, the Sydney University captain.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you want from a leader. She's been having a great game today, and I think the exact kind of leader you want on the park, leading by example.
Ball's forward to Sutton, driving forward into the box now. Ball's out in front of Urich, who was going from a standing start and couldn't get there. And we mentioned it in the first half, but a massive congratulations are in order for Sydney University's number 9, their striker Poppy Tay, who was the striker of the month across the league for April. Plenty of other players shining, but she was deemed the best. Strong slide tackle there from Darrell Avery. It'll be a Sydney University corner. Other positional players of the month: Terera Moana Walker, the midfielder of the month, the Apia star. From UNSW, Angelique Christodoulou, the defender of the month.
And in goals, Amy Hall, Western Sydney's own. The Wanderers star, the goalkeeper of the month across the NPL New South Wales. Asher Sutton now to deliver the corner. Off the head of Tay, and it's tapped in off the line. Isabella Rard gets a second tap in on the line. And Sydney University now up 4-0. She won't get her name attributed to that goal, but Poppy Tay with the header certainly created a fantastic opportunity for Isabella Rard to finish off and get all the glory.
Yeah, I think as you've said, with those good attackers like Poppy Tay, is they can score and they can assist as well. She has many avenues. It's not just the attack on goal, but it's putting through for other players.
Absolutely, and that's now 2 goals off corners today. So set pieces, particularly from the corner flag, proving to be a real strength for Sydney University. One in the first half, their very first corner of the game from the right side, and then that one from the left side. So equally dangerous across the field for the students. Kirby with the tackle. Benora to Hijazi, now with Tay. Tackled by Leggett. Finity, all over the top. Avery had made the run inside, and that's not where the pass went. Layla, back for Drysdale. Now from their back line, looking to go forward. Great pass to Sutton, cutting inside Malia. Sutton, excellent ball. Can Hijazi get there? Not quite. A little bit too much pace on that through ball. But it just shows how quickly Sydney Uni can get down the field there. In a matter of 2 passes, they're in the Spirit box.
Yeah, it seems like they're easily getting through this Spirit midfield, and I think that is just credit to their coaching staff and how well this team is able to connect and how well they know each other and where each other's going to be on the pitch.
Absolutely. Many of these players coming through the Sydney University system, there are not many new recruits. They've developed from within for the most part, and it shows that these connections have been built up over a long time. Here's Attard trying to slip the ball in for Finity. Attard in open space. She's certainly a very quick player. But it's those combinations for Spirit that really aren't there. Here's Attard. Beats a couple. Sandbrook is a tough defender to force your way around. Urich. Back with her goalkeeper. Now Harris. Urich caught flat-footed. Layla steps forward to make the interception. Now with Morrow. And it was a great pass. Morrow just with a hefty touch. Sandbrook looking for that direct ball to Tay. It'll be a uni throw-in deep in their attacking territory. Kirby's throw once again. Hijazi spinning. Ball bounces too far ahead. Now they're trying down the left-hand side. Fantastic touch from Sutton to beat Layla. And then no advantage deemed. Sutton fouled on the way through. It'll be Urich to take the free kick. She's left it behind Juliet Harris. Now taking out all the players, starting on the edge of the box, curling on the bounce and then into the arms of Selva.
Yeah, nothing too troubling there for Selva from that free kick. But Uni have got control over this game and they have the time to play it around and make choices.
Absolutely, and there's no scoreboard pressure. They're up 4-0. They've got some wiggle room. As we stated in the first half, though, yet to have a clean sheet all year, despite plenty of wins. So for Sydney University, that would be a milestone that they definitely want to achieve today. Strength there from Van Dyke. Although her and Sutton combined to foul Pluck Juice, according to our referee. Brewster for Attard. Coming inside is Grace Attard to Morrow. Morrow gets the shot away. Just wide, but good patch of play there from Spirit. That is something to get excited about, that they can put together moments like that. And it was a good-looking strike off the boot. Slightly wide of the uprights, though.
Yeah, I think those are the positives that Spirit need to take, is when they do get a chance on goal, they do have the players that can take a shot and can take a strike, but it is going to be moving forward, getting more of those connections, being able to get those players in those shooting positions.
A patient Sydney University. Playing it around at the back, waiting for the right path to open. Van Dyke with a great touch to cut out two defenders. Then the ball over the top. Kirby in pursuit. She will get there. Amelia Kirby cuts around Attard, gets the cross in to Tay. Now Benora over the goal.
Some great connections there from Uni. I think, as we've been saying throughout this whole game, is this team is connecting well. They know where each other are.
It's a real team effort you see from this Uni side. They play as one connected group. And as much as we say Tay has been a star for them this year, there's plenty of other strong players in behind her. So it's been a real team effort that has transformed the club.
Yeah, I think this club definitely has those breakout stars in the attack, which have helped them climb this ladder, but it is truly this team effort of them connecting, them knowing where each other's going to be, and as you said, quite a few of them playing together in this youth system. I think that's been extremely integral to Uni, but I think it is a huge credit to their coach.
Benora. Wide for Hijazi. Nor Hijazi with the ball in. And the cross a bit too deep. Inside netting for a goal kick. I think as well, they look very well drilled. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think Xavier Taylor is a fantastic coach in the Australian football landscape. I think he has got this team very well drilled. They know their role. They trust in the game plan, and it's delivering results.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Taylor obviously has been their under-23s coach for a while, who have had a great run of results. And I think it's shown here where we're getting some of these players come up and they're getting to this first grade level, and it's looking good.
First change here for Sydney University. Noor Hijazi makes way. And into the action is Ellen Hughes, I believe. Sandbrook lofts a ball into the area, headed out by Spirit. Sydney University corner incoming. Two of their 4 goals so far this afternoon coming from corners. So it's a very dangerous part of Sydney University's game. Asher Sutton has been excellent, putting the ball on a platter for her attackers. Another great delivery, almost gets to Sandbrook. It's headed away by Layla. Out for a throw-in. Urich. Ball for Rod. Difficult ball to control. Little spinning chip. Drysdale. Plays a ball for Finity. It's well defended by Van Dyke. Rod inside. Sutton. Ball over the top. Urich will get there. Cross coming in. Defended by Layla. Morrow's caught flat-footed. Sandbrook gets to the ball first. Benora spins around one and then is fouled. Rather obvious infringement there from Andrea Plutchis. And another Sydney University set piece. It's Kiara Benora. Plays it on the ground to Kirby. Gets the shot away. A little bit of a trick play there from Sydney. What did you make of that one, Emily?
Yeah, an interesting choice, that one there. But I think when you're 4-0 up, you have the time to try out those new set pieces and new plays. Didn't come off this time, but I think it has the potential there and definitely had the surprise factor.
For sure. And Kirby was able to get the shot away, so it was it almost worked. So we look around the league. The rest of NPL New South Wales women's action coming tomorrow. Tay beats one with a first touch. Tay can't get her shot on target though. Plenty of exciting games on tomorrow afternoon. 2:40 is the one that catches my eye. It's the grand final rematch. Bulls FC Academy taking on Arpia Leichhardt. Emily, thoughts on that game?
I think that's definitely a big game. Obviously, last week, for anyone that was watching, Arpia took on UNSW in a top-of-the-table clash where they drew 1-1, their first dropping points of the season. So I think going into a grand final rematch against this Bulls team that they obviously lost the grand final to last season, I think it's going to be very interesting. Arpia are going to come out with something to prove.
Absolutely. There's a lot to prove. I said, they're no longer perfect. 7 wins and 1 draw to start their season.
Not a bad start to the season,
Not a bad
no.
start. Absolutely. But they lost that grand final, went into extra time, which is where Bulls eventually got the win, and Apia would be desperate to get some revenge for that result. Elsewhere, you've got MacArthur Rams versus Gladesville Ravens kicking off at 3. Manly United against UNSW at 5. Western City Rangers against the Western Sydney Wanderers. So the derby out west. Also at 5. At 5:30, Hills United host the Northern Tigers. That ball slipped through Leggett's foot and Brewster had to rush to stop a oncoming Poppy Tay. And then finally, 5:40, Sydney Olympic host the Illawarra Stingrays. So some really exciting matchups tomorrow, I think, across the league. All starts at 2:40 at Northbridge Oval with that grand final rematch. First plays 4th in 2026.
Yeah, as I think we've mentioned, it is tight up that end of the table. Obviously, Uni here coming in at 5th, winning this game. I think Bulls are going to be looking to keep ahead of them there.
With this result, temporarily, because of course there are games to be played tomorrow, Uni will jump up into 3rd place, overtaking the Bulls FC Academy and the Western Sydney Wanderers. Here's Juric. That cross is a bit too strong for Rod to get on the end of from the substitute Hughes. So yes, assuming that, Bulls FC Academy and Western Sydney pick up points tomorrow, things will change, of course, but Senior University at the end of this match will jump up into 3rd, equal on points with Western Sydney, but with a higher goal difference. Now Western Sydney would be favoured against Western City. So, just a reminder, one's the Wanderers, one's the Rangers. Whereas Bulls FC Academy would go in as underdogs based on this year's form against Apia and would need a win or a draw to get on top of the university.
Yeah, I think Bulls have had a little bit of a rocky start to the season. Saying that, obviously they have done quite well in starting this season, but I think it's taken them a while to get into it. I think we are seeing them hit some form. They've got the players, and it will be very interesting to see how they go up against Apia.
It's going to be a fantastic ball out wide there from Benora. Now Hughes delivers. Tay is facing backwards. She lays it off. Kiara Benora. Her shot is blocked. Maddie Van Dyke. For Juric. Cross comes in, gets it to Rod. She's chipping it up there. I'm not sure if she was going to try a bicycle gig or something, Isabella Rod. She's facing backwards.
I think just got a little bit too crowded there to try that one, but I'm sure probably crossed her mind.
Harris, just ahead of Rod. It's not dealt with very well by Selva. Here's Sutton, cleared off the line by Layla.
Crucial interception there by Layla. Just a poor judgment there by Selva, unfortunately. Wasn't too sure where that one was going.
Maybe she lost it in the sun. It is setting rapidly here at Christie Park and could be a nuisance for players on the field. The other thing that makes this NPL New South Wales Women's League so exciting is this transfer window, and of course A-League players having the opportunity to come back and get some winter development in this league. Obviously the best women's state-based league in the country. Offside flag is up on Sydney Uni. Our first offside infringement of the evening, which is quite impressive that it's taken this long. But I think every year this competition only gets stronger and much more exciting when those A-League players come and rejoin the competition.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's not only great for the fans to see these players playing at this level, but I think it's great for these younger players especially to be in the environment around these stars who have A-League experience, because it is all about mentality and building up that experience, and I think there's just something special that these players can pass down to these youngsters who will hopefully be appearing in the A-League in the coming seasons.
Double change coming here for Northwest Sydney Spirit. Darrell Avery is finished. That early substitute in the first half. On comes Lola Greenberg. The second change, Charlotte Finnerty makes way. And on comes Ruby Govind Ali is the other substitution. Greenberg there, one of the players fresh on the field, gets her first touch. I think it can be a tricky situation sometimes for younger players. Obviously, they get to train with some experienced A-League girls. They soak in all that experiences. And the ones who rise to the challenge end up getting to play with them as well. But for some, obviously, those A-League girls are coming and they want to be starters. They want your spot. So it just makes those training sessions all the more competitive as everyone tries to make the starting 11.
Yeah, I think that is definitely a hard one, especially with these players putting in so much effort over these first 2 months of the season that we've had so far.
Double change here for Sydney University. Poppy Tay, one of the goal scorers, comes off, as well as left back Xanthi Urich. And into the action, Elizabeth Bieri and Grace Cho Trigunsa. Isabella Rard shifts up to that striker role, and Cho Trigunsa in midfield, playing as that number 10. Here's one of those substitutes, Bieri. Ball down the line for her fellow sub, Cho Trigunsa, and it will be a Sydney Uni throw-in. Selva in her own 6-yard box. To shift it wide. Attard comes in deep to receive and plays a ball over the top that none of her players were anywhere near. So it's just those connections, being on the same wavelength as your teammates. You can see that the game plan is a bit patchy with this Spirit team.
Yeah, I think that is also, as we've talked about, Uni and their coaching in Taylor and connecting this team well. Obviously, Spirit have lost their coach. He resigned earlier in the season, and they do have interim coach at the moment, Jai Cross, before their full-time coach Dan Barrett comes in. So I think it is very much they're in an in-between phase. It's hard to implement any playing style here with the interim coach.
Absolutely. When you're caretaking and sort of just looking after a side, they're not yours to put your own imprint on and make changes. It's a tricky situation that Jai Cross finds himself in, of managing this Spirit side that is going through a really difficult period.
Yeah.
Fortunately is certainly the heavy favourite right now to be relegated.
Yeah, hopefully once they have their permanent coach come in, we can see some positional changes and hopefully a turnaround.
Govind Ali made the tackle. She ends up losing out though. Interception by Plutches. It's back with Spirit. Can they make something happen? Plutches ended up pointing where her pass was going to be and allowed Amelia Kirby a very easy run at the ball. Now Bieri, forward for Sutton. Asha Sutton, she's got 2 assists, you'd say, from her corners. Can she find a goal for herself? Very obviously fouled there, and Drysdale will pick up a yellow card that was quite warranted, I think, given that situation.
Yeah, an easy one there for the ref. It's just going to be a little bit of a short corner here for Uni.
And they've had great success so far. As I said, 2 of the 4 goals coming from corners. Asha Sutton, the player fouled, who has been excellently delivering those balls into the area. Here she is, slightly further in. Perhaps an angle she could have a shot herself. Sutton, curling ball, punched away by Selva. It's kept in the box by Sandbrook. Now Van Dyke, out for a goal kick.
Yeah, just hasn't got that shot off there, Van Dyke. But another good opportunity from Uni. They are still keeping this pressure up despite being 4-0 up.
Kirby. A long range effort. Probably a slight miss kick, unfortunately, there from Amelia Kirby. But I think there's still a real intensity, as you just said then, Emily. I think there's still a real desire for many of these players. They desperately want that clean sheet. It would be their first of the year. I think there's plenty of players out there as well who have contributed definitely to the day, but haven't put themselves on the score sheet, who would fancy themselves keen to score a goal. It's the likes of Sutton. I think Kirby, even though she's playing right back, has been getting forward very well and would like a goal. And some of those substitutes to come on. You know, young players, developing players. This might be their chance to score in the NPL. So it would be a very exciting opportunity, I think, for some of those substitutes if they could put one in the back of the net. Greenberg. Now it's with Morrow. Gets to Sutton. She plays the ball ahead for Cho Trigansa. Bieri is there in support. Cho Trigansa is going to back her pace. Why wouldn't you? She's very quick. Bieri. Ball's cleared by Leggett. Not very far. Only to Benora. Advantage is played as she was fouled. Pretty quick advantage. Here comes Spirit. Greenberg. Back for Malia. Uni team that are staying connected, very compact. Choosing the right moment to try and make the tackle.
Yeah, I think we saw some good passes there between the Spirit midfield, but just unable to connect in that top third. Again, I think it is getting a little bit excited when they get up there. I think they do want goals, and I don't think they have the patience and experience yet to just calm it down and find that way through.
They probably also don't, unfortunately, trust themselves to retain possession for the length of time it would need. They would need to build up a meaningful opportunity. And you know, they're tired. They've been defending most of the game. Decision making is not optimal right now. A bit of a rush of blood when they see open space. Uni just... Van Dyke spins away, gets the pass to Benora. Ball over the top towards Raj. Drysdale is quickly retreating. Leggett. Ball into space and out on the left side for Spirit. Another Uni throw. Van Dyke tidying up that midfield for Sydney Uni. Now Sutton. Sutton has the pace and strength to beat Layla. Gets around Govindali as well. Sutton delivers. And Cho Trigansa just wide of the left post there. Great opportunity for the substitute to put her mark on the game. Just went awry. Drysdale. Once again back to the goalkeeper. They just can't find a way forward, this Northwest Sydney team.
Yeah, Uni do seem to have all the control here. Not a surprise, obviously, being 4-0 up, as we mentioned. But yeah, it's definitely not looking good for Spirit going forward.
This result will see Sydney Uni jump up into the top 4. Of course, results yet to come from tomorrow may change that. But at the end of this one, a 4-0 win as things stand. They will be in 3rd place. It's being their 6th win of the season. No draws for Sydney Uni. It's an all or nothing approach. Mostly successful. 6 wins, 3 losses to start their year. For Spirit, 9 straight losses in 2026. And unfortunately, all of them big losses. No close games, no competitive games that Spirit really had a chance in. Their closest results, 4-0. As this one stands, the final against Apia was also 4-0.
Yeah,
I apologise. Their result against Illawarra Stingrays a couple of weeks ago was a 2-0 loss. So that one was a little bit closer. They showed some stronger defence there. Although when you look back at it, the Stingrays certainly had the better control of that game.
Yeah, I think as we mentioned, a closer result there with that one, but definitely still controlled by Illawarra and not too many shots from Spirit. I think it has been much of the same in all their games.
Corner awarded, Asher Sutton. Created it with her run and now will head out to take the set piece. Just 17 years old. And now a regular first grade starter. Fantastic ball in from Sutton. Benora was challenging. Came off Layla though, and another corner to come. I think Sutton's a real breakout star for Sydney Uni. Not sure many people really knew the name heading into 2026. A young player come through their system. Developed.
I think that is, like many of these players, I think on this team, is they have the excellence. As we see another great corner in from Southern.
Over the head of Selva. It's popped out to Benora. Her shot is blocked. Lots of legs in the box. Rard turns and shoots. It's come out all the way to Hughes now. Ellen Hughes from range. Can't keep the shot down. But as you said, plenty of these players developed through Sydney Uni's own system, their own culture. But I think Sutton's really shining in senior football, and it's great to see one of your own doing well. Cho Treganza now, a fantastic touch. And Grace Cho Treganza scores her first ever goal in the NPL New South Wales women's competition, makes it 5-0 for Sydney University. It's great to see young players, just 18 years old, getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, definitely a special one there, as all first goals are. She's going to remember that one for a long time to come. Just nice slotting that one past the keeper. Made it look like an easy piece of work.
Absolutely very calm, very composed. Great first touch to set up the shot, and then picked out her spot very well. Less than 4 minutes left in regulation.
But I think, as you were talking about Sutton, I think she has been a real breakout star of this team. I think, obviously, when you've got a Poppy Tay in your team, she is someone that everyone's talking about. And I think quite a few of these players have been overlooked in their breakout seasons, as you would say.
There's certainly plenty of people contributing to the success that Sydney Uni is having. You can't play football with one star or as a one-man show. You've got to have a great 11 out there, and I think there are lots of players who are contributing to Sydney University's success. They're preparing another substitute. It looks like Claudia Pickett will get to come on. Greenberg from range. Off target, but it had the keeper scrambling. And here comes Claudia Pickett. I believe it's a first grade debut for her. She's a assistant coach of the under-10 girls JDL program as well, and then the under-23 centre back. So great to see Claudia Pickett make her debut for Sydney University.
Yeah, some big moments in the game for Sydney Uni players here, and I think that's exactly what we love to see, is debuts, first goals, and just incredible moments for these players on the pitch.
Attard bursts through a tackle, but Kirby gets back, and I think Kirby's been excellent this evening or this afternoon. She's really been a strong leader out there. She is wearing the captain's armband, but has been able to get forward and contribute to the attack from that right back position, and yet still there for all of those defensive duties, not neglecting to take care of a very quick Grace Attard. She's a raw talent, but Grace Attard is a player to watch for Spirit, a talent to nurture. Great turn of speed, can finish well when in front of goal. Doesn't get there much, unfortunately, but she does have a goal to her name back from their game against the Northern Tigers.
Yeah, and it was quite the goal, if you do remember, quite a good goal there. They do have this attacking talent up front, just unfortunately aren't able to get them on the ball too much.
Leggett driving forward, tries to play Morrow. Sandbrook has been making all sorts of interceptions and tackles tonight. Here's Cho Treganza, already scored one. Puts it for Sutton. Asher Sutton can't keep that ball down. Just leant back as she made the strike. But I think, yeah, it's obviously a 5-0 win. All the glory will go to the attack, and probably rightfully so, but this backline for Sydney Uni has set them up very well. Obviously, being great in defence, but also their passes going forward. There's been plenty of occasions where the Sydney University team has been able to go the length of the field in 2 or 3 passes. And that first one, a great cutout ball from the back line, has set the students up for a lot of success here. Sam Brook, I think, can take a lot of credit for that. Already praised Kirby extensively, but across the park, Sydney University have just been stronger than their counterparts.
Yeah, I think one we also haven't mentioned too much is Van Dyke in the midfield. She's been able to control it well, and she's been integral in getting the ball up the pitch there.
Absolutely. Anything that does slip through that first line of the press, Van Dyke has almost always been there to tidy it up. And Sam Brook has only been caught in a couple of times as a little mix-up at the back, and Cho Treganza has a double. 6-0 now for Sydney University. Drysdale and Selva, just complete miscommunication, a very slow pass, and Cho Treganza desperate, sniffing around, looking for that tackle, and is able to finish off a second goal for the young star.
Yeah, Uni have obviously looked comfortable throughout this game, 6-0 up, and they are looking very positive to keep their first clean sheet of the season as they go for even more here.
Rad, 1-2 with Cho Treganza. Isabella Rad just over the bar. She thought there was a touch. Referee disagrees, and the goal kick will be awarded. But Spirit are fast becoming the team that other clubs can use to up their goal difference. Sydney University benefiting greatly today, adding 6 to their goal difference tally, and that'll see them rise above Western Sydney Wanderers, who they are equal on points with at the end of this match, but will have a much greater goal difference than the Wanderers. Rad almost keeps it in. She got the touch, but that wasn't enough to keep the ball in the field of play.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, Spirit have unfortunately become this team to rack up your goal difference against. Obviously, as you said, Uni being on the same points as Wanderers. Wanderers are still yet to play Spirit, so I think that does play a big role in the table, is whether you have or haven't played Spirit.
It can certainly inflate your goals for after a Spirit game. Rad, great footwork. Isabella Rad. Sydney University just shooting over the bar there for that final kick of the game. 6-0 win for the visitors. It's a fantastic result and extends their unbeaten run to 5 games. I'm Annabelle Banfield. Thank you for tuning into the NPL New South Wales Women's Match of the Round alongside Emily Arnold, and keep an eye out for all the action to come tomorrow afternoon. Plenty of exciting games across the league.